Welcome to the Owning Your Sexual Self podcast, a place for you to listen and explore all things surrounding sex positivity. I'm your host, Rachel Main, sex therapist and educator, intimacy coach, awesome wife to my husband, Danny, board of directors member and team leader with Pure Romance, and best of all, a work-from-home dog mom to my favorite pups, Bane and Tater. After starting my Pure Romance business, I quickly learned how much sexuality education was lacking within my community and how much shame was placed on things like fantasies, masturbation, and sexual dysfunctions. I'm on a mission to make this world a more sex-positive place, and with this podcast, I hope to reach thousands of people. I'll bring real-life experiences to the surface and normalize them by offering a non-judgmental view. If you can get down with that, then tune in every Monday and let's change this fucking world. All right, everyone, I'm back again with a guest. If you've been following the podcast for a while now, I have Molly Eames back on with me, who was on my, what episode was that? Playground Sex Ed, right?
Yeah.
Oh my
I think
gosh.
that was even your first one.
Yeah, you were my very first ever podcast guest, and I know when we were both recording, we're like, yeah, we're definitely going to do this again, and I know today won't be the last day either, so.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here, Rachel.
Yes, thank you so much again. And so I'm super excited. I had made a post in the Owning Your Sexual Self Facebook group. If you're not in there yet, get your butt in there because there's tons of great info. And I asked, like, who has been using these menstrual cups? And a ton of women were commenting on there. And I have to say, I'm like guiltily, I don't even know if that's a word, but I'm going to use it. I am still a tampon user. And what? I know, shame, I know. But I know so many are out there, so you're gonna hear, I guess, both sides to the world today. But menstrual cups for me were really something that in the last year have really became like a bigger conversation for so many people. And that's probably due to the work that we do, right? We are very deep into this sex world, if you will. And I am super excited to hear, because you have a pretty awesome story behind menstrual cups. So I'm really excited for you to share with everybody today kind of how this entered your life. So where did it start?
Oh man. Well, I feel like I have to say that I have always been that girl who I'm a texture girl, and weird things freak me out. So the thought of, tampons alone were like, ugh, what am I doing? This is way too close. Feels a little dirty. I can't come from a very religious background, so we really never talked about, like menstrual blood and what's happening. And it was just disgusting. I just thought it was really dirty and icky for the longest time. And every time I heard menstrual cup, I would be giving mass judgment, like, who in the world are you? I can't believe you're touching yourself like this. No thanks.
Yes.
And I was a tampon girl for like ever. And things really, I think, started shifting for me when I met my partner and I made the decision to go off birth control. And when I went off birth control, obviously things change, and I'm bleeding heavier and kind of sporadic for a little while. And I'm just a heavy flower. I always had been. It's why I originally first started going on birth control when I was a teenager. And I don't know, maybe you have this experience with tampons, but they're dry and they're like itchy and they smell. Right? And I guess on one hand, like, cool, there's a Super Plus tampon that I can change out and like go about my life, but it's still funky. And the biggest thing that I was experiencing was vaginal dryness, like nobody's business.
Yeah.
It got to a point where I literally felt like every time I was inserting a tampon, it was just like sandpaper and like, ugh, what am I doing? Yeah. And on top of it, I guess about I don't know, like 9 or 10 years ago. All the stuff were coming out about the tampons and all the chemicals, and I don't know. I'm a girl who doesn't even like to take Advil, let alone all this stuff in cotton and tampons I'm putting at my vagina. That can't be good. Mm-hmm. And I just started wondering and doing a little bit more research, like, okay, what is this? Yeah. What's happening?
It's so crazy hearing you say this, because I am literally the complete opposite. Okay, similar in like, what is the shit I'm putting in my body, especially through my vaginal opening. But same thing. So when you're speaking to the dryness, I preach like using a lubricant before inserting the tampon because of that. But there's still that feeling of like and I always compare, and it's so bad, but like when you're removing the tampon and you can feel it being removed, like yes. We know that that's micro tearing. We know our body takes so long for that to heal. And even with sometimes using a lubricant, you still feel that. But same, like, and when I say I'm the complete opposite, I have such a light flow, although I am still on birth control. So another opposite. I've been on birth control since I've been literally 14 years old. So a long time. I'm 32 now. Which is, when I say that out loud, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been ingesting this daily pill since I've been 14 years old, which is a whole another topic of conversation. But yeah, and you're saying like the tampons are so gross, and I get, 100%. And it's like, then there's the question, like, can I flush this? Do I wad it up and put it in the toilet? And then everybody knows I'm on my period. So there is that sense of like embarrassment when you're using pads or tampons. But I'm curious, like my biggest setback with the menstrual cup is like, I just imagine like I remove this from my body and I'm just like pouring my blood out like I'm some sort of like witch doing I don't know, like I'm casting a spell on somebody.
I don't want to be witchy. That sounds amazing. No, honestly, even just me 5 years ago was like, ew, super gross. Why would I want to actually see the blood that's inside of me come out? Weird. I'm not a nurse. I'm not a doctor. There's a reason for all of this. So I actually think I read a Bustle article, and it was from a woman who was like, well, whatever. My boss said I needed to write an article on menstrual cups. And so I was like, fuck it, I'll do it. And so it's about her experience. And I was really charmed. I was totally delighted by how she expressed the ease. And the biggest one was she said that she experienced less cramping by using a cup.
Okay.
And that fascinated me because I have horrible, horrible cramps. So she used the Lunette cup, and I remember being like, all right, let's do this, Malls. Let's order it and just wing it, and we can try it once and put it to bed and whatever. So it arrived, and I remember looking at it and being like, there's no way in hell that is going to go inside of me, which is counterintuitive, right? Knowing who we are, and like we're sex therapists and coaches and educators and penises go in us and large things, this cup. No, I was very confused and I was nervous. And I think I must have watched several YouTube videos just about how to fold the cup, which also probably sounds weird, but I didn't know how any of this was going to work. And here's what I have to say. The first couple times are super weird. They just are. You can like fold the cup into a C, and, you're trying to figure out how to hold it and insert it. And do you push up towards your belly button or like back towards your anus? Like, I don't know. And it's supposed to flip open inside of you and somehow cusp and create an airlock seal.
I wish the listeners could see you right now, like moving around in your chair, like as if you're inserting a menstrual cup right now. But tampon users, I'm sure, go through the same shit, right? I remember inserting my first tampon, like half of it was sticking out of my vagina. I was like, well, I think this is normal. Like, it's in there, right? And I'm like, I can't even walk. Like, what is happening? So, or then you use the ones that like have no string, and then I'm like, fuck, this is gonna get lost inside of me. So I have a similar fear of that with the menstrual cup, but we know, again, education, it's not going to get lost inside of you. But
exactly. It's just a moment when you really have to trust your body and just trust that this is going to work. But no, and you can feel it sometimes, like you can, just as you would a tampon, I suppose. But I was like blown away by the ease of it. And one of the things, you know, it's a little bit weird the first couple of times of trying to get it out of you, you know, pulling it out. And the first few times of pouring my blood, I did feel like, what is this? This is really weird. And then my nerdy, brainy part kicked in, and I was like, this is so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I have never experienced this before. And all of a sudden, I started having this newfound appreciation and relationship with my body and with my cycle. And I did not anticipate that at all. One of the other part that I loved about the cup was that it holds over an ounce, which I don't know. I guess I just went into it not knowing how much a person bleeds.
Yeah.
You know, like when you pull out a tampon, you really have no clue whether you were really light or like super heavy. But with a cup, you really can know, oh, I'm really light today, or, oh, I'm heavy. And I don't know, the viscosity of it changes, the color changes. It can tell you so much about your health and where you are within your cycle, which just totally blew me away. And I got nerdy fascinated by it.
Yeah, that is, and I've been seeing a lot of people just lately sharing, again, when you follow all these different accounts on Instagram and you're able to filter what you see through your feed, it's a magical thing. And so I've been recently reading the book In the Flo. So learning the same about your menstrual cycle, things to eat, what the different colors look in when you are menstruating and what the colors mean and all that. So there's so many resources that I'll share in the episode notes for people that are interested in that. But you're right. So again, speaking from the tampon user, it's like when you remove that, everything is absorbed by that. So you really don't know how, I mean, I guess you know if you're like super heavy or super light, but for the most part it's absorbed, and really you can't tell with color. And I feel like most people don't look at it. I don't know. I'm now thinking like, do I observe my tampon before I toss it?
No, because I think it's such an act of like expelling, get this out of me and into the trash. And it feels, I can't even believe I'm about to say this, but it almost feels like if I were to go back to tampons, like it would almost be shaming my vagina. You know, like I have so much respect for the things that my vulva does, that she just wants to flow naturally. So part of the experience of being with your menstrual blood and changing your cup and whatever, I noticed that it's like I started becoming really attuned to my cycle and recognized through some research that women often bleed with the new moon or with the full moon. And isn't it really interesting that our cycles are connected to the lunar cycle?
Crazy.
And so I started paying attention and recognized that I typically bleed with the new moon. And with that connection, oh my gosh, so much in my life shifted. I never would have made that connection if I hadn't just been really in tune with my body and how I flow.
Yeah.
And I can now tell like what part of the cycle my body is in. I feel it. My lubrication is different. I'm really in tune with my lubrication. My partner, oh my goodness, he knows my cycle more than anybody else. It's probably creepy to some people. I love it because I'm like, babe, am I going to bleed soon? He's like, I think you got a couple days. I'm like, cool. Yeah, I think he'd be okay with me saying that out loud.
In connection with the lunar cycle and your menstrual cycle and how you're using that to really to live like a better, higher self lifestyle. Absolutely.
It felt like a reclamation of my vulva. It really did. Of just, this is a really simple thing that I can do to really be in touch with myself, with my own body. It has shifted even like my self-pleasure practice. You know, knowing where I am and how I respond to things. And I would also say, I mean, I've been using a cup for almost 5 years, and it's made me a little witchy.
Mm-hmm.
You made the joke about seeing the blood and pouring it out, but like, I have to be really honest. People do that.
Yeah.
People use their menstrual blood and feed plants.
Yep.
And war paint and have very strong rituals connected to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I will really say that this past menstrual cycle was the first time that I really felt called or like connected in that kind of way, where I had this overwhelming urge to empty my cup into my succulent plants. And I didn't, but it was the first time where I was like, holy shit, yeah. I really kind of want to do this. I think it needs my nutrients.
Yeah, and that in the Flo book, which I'll definitely link in the show notes, but it talks about that, and it talks about, so I have a lot of entrepreneurs that listen to this podcast, and again, being able to plan your day, and there's, like, they call it pussy power, right? When you're menstruating, your level of productivity and your creative mind and all of these things that are activated that you really don't even notice. And I feel like myself for so long, I'm like, well, I'm on my period, I'm gonna take a nap, and I'm like, now I'm like, fuck that. Like, I'm getting shit done today. Like, bring on the blood. Like, I've got shit to do. Like, let's make shit happen. And so, yeah, and that is what you're saying. So there is so much power behind our menstrual blood. And so I never would have thought, I don't have plants, first of all, because they always die. But I'm sure there's other rituals that are very helpful. And yeah, all the hocus pocus, like analogies are coming in my head right now as you say it. Turned me a little witchy, but it's Halloween week, so it fits perfect.
It is. And I honestly never would have said I was the girl who would say that. I can't believe I even thought about putting my fingers in it and like wanting to draw it on my face, because gross. Old Molly would have been like, that's fucking disgusting. But no, new Molly is woke and is like, no, this is amazing. This is part of my femininity and my divine goddessness. And wow, wouldn't it be incredible to be able for everyone to have this experience and to feel that connected?
Yeah, definitely.
I ended up getting cups for my 2 stepdaughters, and they each have had very different experiences with them. My oldest is not much of a fan, which I can appreciate that. Like, 21 and doing your thing. And interestingly, my younger one, who's 16, really fell in love with it and was like, I love not using tampons. This is so economical. Like, thank you, Retta.
Yes.
Thank you for saying that. But no, she says, she's like, I feel great going to school and knowing that I don't have to change it. Like, I know for a fact it's going to hold, and I can change it at home and then go to field hockey practice and be totally fine. I can work out. I can go to the gym and do lunges and squats and feel totally safe. It's very interesting.
Yeah. When I first started really thinking about it, it was earlier this year, actually. A family member of mine had reached out to me like, hey, I know you're in the sex field and my doctor recommended I switch over to this. Like, do you have any recommendations? And I felt like so guilty. I'm like, I don't know shit, but let's figure it out together. So we're you're looking at all these websites, and they're like, well, my friend uses this one. And so I check it out and like help her figure out, like, we thought it was sizes, but it's actually asking, this particular brand was asking, like, how heavy is your flow? That was fun in itself to have a giggle over that. But then I follow another guest I had on the podcast, Amanda Fisher, who's a pelvic floor physical therapist. She is amazing. She is always pushing menstrual cups on her website. And another resource I'll share in here is an account on Instagram called Put a Cup in It. And I just actually a few weeks ago, again, probably during my period when I'm like, fuck this tampon, I was like, let me check this out, right? And so they have a quiz that you can actually take to figure out which of their cups is best for your vagina. So it asks you all the questions about your flow, about how you experience sex, how often you're having sex, if you're experiencing any pain with vaginal penetration. It ask you quite a few things. It only takes about 5 minutes, but that was really cool. So then that kind of took the anxiety of like, what if I get the wrong cup? What if it doesn't work? What if it's too small, too big? What if it doesn't hold? Like, so that's definitely somebody that's interested in looking for a cup, then you'll get
that. I've used the smaller cup and a larger cup, and I'm a girl who flows, and I haven't had a problem with either one. And I've even have been out and about, and I started a little early and not expecting it, and went to the store and bought a Diva cup and had a great experience. Slightly different. Each one is a slightly different shape and blah, blah, blah. But once you figure it out, it's awesome.
Yeah. And they come with little cases. So if that happens where you then start early, which for the most part, if you're tracking your cycle, that In the Flo book has an app that's like 99 cents or $1.99, and it will tell you like, hey, heads up, the shit's coming, so get ready. But put a cup in it, that comes in this cute little travel container, so you can keep them in your purse if you need to, just in case.
Absolutely. And it's really not that bad in terms of I've had to change my cup out and about, at a restaurant or wherever. It's not as gross as you really think. And they often come with wipes that you can clean it yourself in the toilet, in your stall, so you don't have to go out. And cleaning it is so easy. I clean it in the shower with a little bit of soap, put it back in. And at the end of my period, I boil it, and easy peasy, ready to be used again. And I bought one cup like 5 years ago for $20 and I'm still using it.
Wow. Yeah. Talk about economically savvy, right? You're saving so much money in tampons and or pads, whatnot. And
it's crazy.
I'm assuming they don't come scented like tampons do.
No.
Okay.
No.
Just in fun colors.
Just really good colors.
Yeah. Is there a color preference that you would recommend for anybody? Like, I'm just wondering, like, do maybe people prefer a darker color because you can't see the blood as much, or do you prefer a lighter color because you are obsessed with your period blood?
Obsessed with my period blood, you're killing me. Hilarious. I would say choose the color that you feel most drawn to. Mine is orange. I don't know how I chose orange. I think it was the one that was available at the time. But no, I think go with the one you're drawn to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
And the period blood, in the beginning, yes, it was weird. It was weird because we aren't taught as women, like, what our blood really looks like or what this process is really like. And so in the beginning, honor the fact that it's weird. Honor that you're like, what is this? And just be with it. Don't attach judgment to it. Just be, and give it a couple months. Give it like 3 months, 3 periods. See if you like it.
Yeah. I think I definitely
want you to try it tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. I need to just go back to that website, and because I already took the quiz, I know which one is for me. I need to just bite the bullet and do it because let's see, I'm coming up in 2 weeks now, so hopefully it'll be here within then. But yeah, and then when I make the move and get off birth control, I know, like I said, I'm very, very light, like maybe a day, if that. And truthfully, I really only, at this point, I'm using maybe 2 tampons, but in reading that In the Flo book, I know that is not good, the fact that I'm not menstruating a lot. So that's, again, another conversation, but y'all should really read that book. Another good book that was recommended to me that I actually haven't read in yet, but my sex coach had recommended was, is it Wildpower? Have you heard of that one, Molly?
Oh, I don't know if I know this one.
I think it's Wildpower. I'll link it in the show notes as well. But it's very much around, your menstrual cycle and using that pussy power to your advantage. Yeah.
It is. I mean, I really cannot express enough how the simple act of ditching tampons and using a cup has transformed my relationship with my body. Like, has transformed how I honor it, how aware I am of it, honoring the flow and the periods of rest that our bodies need because of our hormones and everything. And on top of it, I've got a great relationship with my partner because I'm more in tune with my flow and he's more in tune with my flow. So he knows what's up too.
Yeah.
And that has just been magical. All from ditching tampons. Like, isn't that crazy?
Who would have thought? I'm telling you.
Pussy power, man.
I know. I feel, I feel really, I'm missing out. So I'm probably going to impulsively order my menstrual cup after this podcast.
And I will also totally normalize this. It was almost the same thing when I got my first yoni egg. It sat on the shelf for a really long time before I was finally like, okay, I'm going to use you. I got this.
Yeah.
So under that too, I think I had my cup for a little while before finally I said, fuck it. Do it, Malls.
Yeah.
You got this.
I love it. I love it. Awesome. So what else? Any other resources as we wrap up? Well, actually 2 questions that I have for you before we end. So because I'm trying to think what people listening to this might have questions that they might have. So once it's inserted, how, like if you then insert your finger in your vagina, can you feel it? Is it right there at the vaginal opening? Is it a little bit more deeper inside? What's that sort of like?
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit deeper inside. It depends on every woman and how it fits. But no, it actually, there's a really great illustration of where the cup fits that I have that I can send you. It doesn't go as high up as a tampon. And so you know how sometimes when you insert tampons, you're like, ooh.
That's my cervix.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Got that. I've never felt that way with the cup.
Okay.
It's so much lower than your cervix. It's really comfortable. Once it's in, I can hardly even feel it. You can tell by the feel if it's not quite in the right location or if it hasn't air sealed.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think about how to describe that sensation, but it's kind of like almost like a funny little pressure in like the front part of your vagina. And that's how you know it just hasn't fully opened. Okay.
So do you remove and reinsert? Do you do a little wiggle? Remove and reinsert. Okay.
Yeah, you remove and insert. It makes such a difference making sure that it's completely dry. Because even if there's if you just rinsed it out and there's a little bit of water, it'll struggle with your internal moisture to seal. Wow. So making sure it's just dry before you insert it. Kind of similar to the yoni egg a little bit. Sometimes you have to maneuver to figure out to get the right hand placement to grab it. But the bottom of the cup often has like a little tab that you can feel and you pinch it and remove. Okay. And so go ahead. So as you pinch it, you can like pinch it and pull it out and look at it and then pour it, or you can just like pinch, pour, and be like, ooh, I saw nothing. Whatever feels best for you.
Yeah, depending where you're at in the period blood spectrum.
Yes. And I really honor that too, because in the beginning, it was super gross. I was like, what is this? I can't believe I'm doing this. And then it just turned into weird. Yeah. It's not weird. It just turned into this beautiful fascination of, wow, look at our bodies. I am so in awe of what our bodies are able to do.
Yes. Women run the world. Just saying.
Seriously.
And just because I know somebody's going to ask, can you have sex with a menstrual cup inside?
There are cups that you can have sex with.
Okay.
I have not personally experienced that, but I do know people who have those. I think it's the Flex Ring, I think, is a cup that you can have sex on. But yes, there are some brands.
Okay. Very cool. And we will link the menstrual cup that you use. We'll also put a link to Diva Cup as we recommend or mentioned in here. We'll put the Instagram account that I mentioned on here, the book recs, like so many resources in these show notes. And of course, reach out to either Molly or I if you have more questions. I am sure I will share my journey with switching to a menstrual cup on my social media. So definitely follow us on Instagram, also linked in the show notes.
Yeah, I'm so excited for your experience.
You have turned me.
Good. I'm so glad. I think everyone should just try it at least once.
Yeah.
And know it's going to be super weird.
Yeah.
It's going to be super weird, but just give it a chance.
Yeah. And you can always go back to tampons or pads if you need to. Like, yeah. And I just think of like the olden days, right? They didn't use anything. They were just bleeding out all over the damn place. So thank the Lord for our resources.
Yes. I actually think the first cup was created like 100 years ago.
Wow.
All right. I'm going to say that and I'm like, are you sure it was 100 years ago? I feel like I read that somewhere, but it's legit. It's more than 25, 30 years old.
Wow. Okay. Very cool.
I'll try to find that to link it.
Okay. Well, thanks so much, Molly. Just in case they're not able to get to the notes, how can the people find you on Instagram?
Yes, my handle is molly.ames, EAMES. I'm a sex and intimacy coach. Look me up, friend me. I can't wait to connect and talk.
Yes, definitely. And I'll plug Molly is a soon-to-be published author as well. So definitely follow her on social because she's got some great experience and great stories. And yeah, she'll, I'm sure, be sharing her book journey with everybody as well. So
thank you, my love.
Yes.
I'm so appreciative of you. I loved this. It was so much fun.
Yes, I love you too. Thanks for switching me over to the witchy side.
Oh, yes, it's the best side. I am loving it.
All right, y'all. Until next time, we'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much for listening today and helping me change the world by spreading sex positive awareness. If you love the show, please subscribe so you never miss an episode and leave a review for others to see. If you want to see me on the daily, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram under Rachel Main, or check out my Linktree website in the show's bio for direct links to all my pages. You can also shop my Pure Romance store or become a Pure Romance business owner yourself by visiting pureromance.com/RachelUC. Thank you again so much. Until next week, go out there and own your sexual self.